Most men think texting is about saying the right words. They think attraction is built through clever lines, perfect timing, or constant attention. But what if the real power of texting has nothing to do with what you say and everything to do with who you are when you say it? Texting is only one of many ways humans communicate. Just like eye contact, tone of voice, touch, or presence, it reflects something deeper: your self-control, your emotional discipline, your inner frame. And this is where most men fail. Not because they don't know how to text, but because they don't know when to stop, what to withhold, or how to remain centered when desire pulls at them. The Stoics warned us about this long before phones ever existed. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." In texting, that mastery is visible instantly, in how fast you reply, in how much you explain, in whether your messages come from calm intention or quiet need. In this video, we're not talking about tricks or manipulation. We're breaking down 5 reasons why certain texting behaviors increase attraction, not because they impress her, but because they signal emotional strength, restraint, and self-respect. When a man texts from that place, something shifts. She doesn't feel chased, she feels drawn. Now let's look at why that happens and why these behaviors work on a deeper psychological level.
Reason 1. Restraint creates value. Most men believe attraction is built by doing more messages, more explanations, more availability. But desire doesn't grow from excess, it grows from contrast. When a man shows restraint in texting, he signals something rare, that his life is full even without constant validation. He doesn't text to fill silence. He doesn't rush to respond out of fear. He allows space, and space is where attraction breathes. Psychologically, restraint forces the other person to participate. Instead of being overwhelmed by information, she is invited into curiosity. Her mind engages. She leans forward emotionally, not because she's being impressed, but because something is missing, and the human brain is wired to seek completion. The Stoics understood this principle deeply. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." In texting, that power shows up as calm control. You don't chase momentum. You don't force connection. You allow interactions to end naturally, sometimes even shorter than expected, not to play games, but because you don't need to extract more than the moment offers. This is why short, intentional messages feel stronger than long, emotional ones. They communicate presence without need, interest without dependence, confidence without effort. And here's the paradox. When you stop trying to hold her attention, she begins holding yours in her mind. Restraint doesn't push her away. It gives her room to move toward you on her own terms. But restraint alone isn't the whole picture. Because once space is created, something else begins to work quietly in the background, a psychological pull that has nothing to do with words at all and everything to do with uncertainty. And that's where the next reason comes into play. Reason 2. Mystery activates the mind. Once space exists, the mind doesn't stay quiet for long. It starts to wonder. Attraction deepens not when everything is explained, but when something is left unsaid. Most men overshare. They narrate their day. They clarify their intentions. They remove every possible question, thinking clarity builds connection. In reality, it often kills tension. Mystery works because the human mind hates empty gaps. When information is incomplete, the brain fills in the blanks, emotionally, not logically. And emotion is where attachment grows. A man who doesn't reveal everything at once becomes mentally engaging, not because he is manipulative, but because he's not trying to be understood immediately. He allows meaning to unfold over time. In texting, this looks simple. You don't explain every thought. You don't answer every question in full detail. You don't always close the loop right away. A line like, "That reminds me of something, but I'll tell you later," does more than a paragraph ever could. It plants a hook in her attention, and attention, once hooked,
returns on its own. The Stoics warned against compulsive disclosure. Epictetus wrote, "He who speaks much is rarely calm." Calm men don't rush to unload their inner world. They let curiosity do the work for them. They understand that attraction is not built by transparency alone, but by pacing. Mystery does not mean secrecy, it means timing. When you stop trying to be fully known immediately, you become something she keeps thinking about after the conversation ends. Not because you said something extraordinary, but because you didn't say everything. And once her mind is engaged this way, once curiosity turns into anticipation, something else becomes possible. A shift from neutral conversation into emotional stimulation. That shift is subtle, playful, and often misunderstood, which leads us directly into the next reason. Reason 3. Playfulness signals strength. Curiosity opens the door, but playfulness is what keeps her inside. Here's what most men misunderstand. They think attraction grows through seriousness, reassurance, and constant emotional safety. So their texts become polite, predictable, careful, and slowly forgettable. Playful teasing works because it introduces contrast, light tension without threat, confidence without arrogance. A man who can tease lightly is a man who is not afraid of losing approval. He is relaxed, he is emotionally grounded, and that calm confidence is felt immediately, even through a screen. When she says, "I'm exhausted," you don't rush to comfort or analyze. A playful line like, "That sounds suspiciously dramatic," creates a smile instead of sympathy. Why does this matter? Because laughter creates association, and association creates desire. The Stoics understood the power of lightness. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A cheerful disposition and serenity of mind come from strength, not weakness." Playfulness is not immaturity. It is emotional control expressed through ease. You are not trying to impress her. You are not trying to win points. You are simply enjoying the interaction and inviting her to enjoy it too. That enjoyment is rare, and rarity creates value. But here's the deeper layer. Playfulness only works when it is unpredictable, when it doesn't follow a script, when it breaks routine. And routine, more than anything else, is what slowly erodes attraction. Which brings us naturally to the next reason, where predictability becomes the real enemy. Reason 4. Unpredictability keeps desire awake. Routine is comfortable, but comfort is not what creates craving. Most men fall into patterns without realizing it. Same greetings, same timing, same emotional temperature in every message. At first, it feels stable. Then it becomes invisible. Unpredictability works because the human nervous system responds to change. When something cannot be fully anticipated, attention sharpens, the mind stays alert. This is not about playing games. It's about not turning yourself into a habit. A man who texts only when it feels natural, not by schedule, signals that his life is full and moving. He is not orbiting. He is not waiting. An unexpected message in the middle of the day, a sudden shift in tone, or a question that breaks the usual rhythm, these moments wake emotion up. The Stoics warned against living mechanically. Seneca wrote, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." When your communication becomes automatic, your presence loses impact. Unpredictability restores contrast. It reminds her that interaction with you is not guaranteed and therefore not to be taken lightly. Notice something important here. This kind of unpredictability only works when it's effortless, when it comes from a man who is not seeking a reaction, but expressing freedom. And freedom is attractive. Yet there is one final shift that amplifies all the others. It's the moment where you stop reacting altogether and start choosing when to leave. That decision changes the entire dynamic. And that leads us to the most powerful reason of all. Reason 5. Leaving first creates psychological gravity. Attraction doesn't grow when a conversation fades. It grows when it is interrupted at its peak. Most men do the opposite. They stay, they extend, they drain the interaction until there is nothing left to feel. ending the conversation first is not withdrawal, it is restraint. A man who knows when to leave shows that he is not dependent on the exchange. He enjoys it, but he does not cling to it, and that distinction changes how he is perceived. When you step away while the energy is still warm, you leave behind unfinished emotion, and unfinished emotion pulls the mind forward. This is not manipulation, it is timing. The Stoics spoke often about knowing when enough is enough. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." A man who values his time and ends on his terms signals self-mastery. He does not wait to be dismissed, he chooses. That choice creates gravity. She is left with the echo of the interaction, the humor, the ease, the feeling without immediate closure, and the mind naturally seeks completion. This is why absence, when chosen deliberately, often speaks louder than presence that lingers too long. When you leave first, you teach her, without words, that access to you is not unlimited. And once that realization settles in, something important happens next. Because after restraint comes reflection. After absence comes evaluation. And that shift doesn't happen in the conversation, it happens after it ends, which is where the deeper Stoic lesson begins.
Final lesson. Mastery is the message. If you've noticed something by now, none of these reasons were really about texting. They were about who the man is behind the message. Short texts work because they reflect restraint. Mystery works because it reflects self-sufficiency. Playfulness works because it reflects emotional strength. Unpredictability works because it reflects freedom. Leaving first works because it reflects self-respect. The phone is not the source of attraction, it is only the mirror. Women don't chase words, they respond to signals of inner order. The Stoics never taught persuasion, they taught alignment. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best way to avenge yourself is to not become like that." In modern terms, don't text to get something. Text as an expression of who you already are. When a man is centered, his communication becomes lighter, cleaner, less needy, and paradoxically, more powerful. So don't obsess over techniques, don't memorize lines, don't try to manufacture desire. Build a life that doesn't revolve around responses. Speak when it feels right, leave when it's time, and let silence do the rest. Because when a man stops chasing attention, attention starts to follow him. Thank you for watching Stoic Wisdom today. If this perspective resonated with you, stay with us for more Stoic insights. Here, we don't teach men how to control women, we teach men how to control themselves and let everything else fall into place. Until next time, stay grounded, stay calm, stay stoic.